A lot of people have been wondering what MacBook should they get. Should they get the brand new MacBook Neo, which is only $599, or should they spend the extra money and get themselves an M4 or an M5 MacBook Air? In this video, we're going to go through the differences, what may be better for you, and also I'm going to edit this whole video on the MacBook Neo. So if you want to find out how that went, stick around till the end. Let's check it out. So as somebody who has an M4 Pro Mac Mini, which I use as my main workhorse over there, does all my video editing, heavy tasks and stuff like that, and it breezes through everything, I wanted something to supplement it that when I go on work trips and stuff, I could take with me, but it could also get some sort of video editing done, photo editing, if I need to do it. And that's why I went and got myself the M4 MacBook Air, and for that reason, it's worked great. It's a great machine and it's done its job. But the question is now, with the MacBook Neo being released, can the MacBook Neo do everything that the M4 MacBook Air can do? And can I replace my MacBook Air with the MacBook Neo? The short answer is yes, it can do everything that the MacBook Air can do. However, not as good. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. The MacBook Air is a great machine. For $599, it's a great entry-level machine, especially for people trying to get into macOS for the first time. Amazing. If you're just starting a YouTube channel, just starting video editing, just trying to get into this space, or you want to get this for your child, or just general day-to-day tasks, it is a great machine. It's going to last a while, especially with the optimization of these MacBooks recently. And yeah, $599, you can't go wrong with that. However, there are limitations. For example, with the MacBook Neo, you only get 8GB of unified memory. Like I said, you are going to be able to do stuff, video editing, stuff like that. But let's just call a spade a spade. You're not going to be able to get the same performance as an M4 MacBook Air or an M4 Pro Mac Mini. That's just being silly to think that. And along with that 8GB of unified memory, you do get far slower SSD speeds. I did the test myself. With the MacBook Neo, the read and write speeds were around 1600, 1500, which was half the speed of the MacBook Air and a lot slower than the M4 Pro Mac Mini. Bear in mind, they're all the 512GB versions, but this is technically classed as a budget machine. So that is what we should think about it as. It is a very capable budget machine, but it is a budget machine. It would be perfect as somebody say secondary computer. If you are like myself, say you had the MacBook Mini as your main machine, and you just wanted something that you could send emails from, take downstairs, take with you, MacBook Neo may be a great alternative if you don't need to do heavy tasks on it. Another thing is the lack of Thunderbolt ports. Now, first of all, you're not going to get faster charging. So you are going to get slightly slower charging with this. You do get a 20-watt brick in the, I think it's the American versions. In Europe, we don't get any power brick with it. But you get USB-C 2 and USB-C 3. So no fast transfer speeds, and that may not be a deal breaker for some, but having Thunderbolt 4 speeds is very beneficial if you edit from external devices and you're transferring large files from external devices. But then again, $599, people aren't probably doing that, so that may be fine. Another limitation of not having a Thunderbolt port is this can only be extended to one external display, capped at 4K 60, whereas the MacBook Air, because it has Thunderbolt displays, you can extend it to 2 external displays. Again, $599, people probably won't worry about that. And then when we take a look at the MacBook Air, you've of course got base model 256GB, 16GB of unified memory, which you can upgrade. On the MacBook Neo, you can't upgrade it. You've got Thunderbolt ports, you've got faster charging, you also got a headphone jack, you have got a better screen. Now, the screen on the MacBook Neo is not bad by any means, but obviously the MacBook Air screen is a lot nicer in my opinion. And as a personal preference, I actually have grown to like the notch design because I like the slimmer bezels. But again, MacBook Neo screen is not bad. You get the faster transfer speeds because of Thunderbolt, ability to extend up to more displays, and you get actually MagSafe charging. And the benefit about that is you can charge your MacBook while having 2 USB-C ports open for connecting various different peripherals. Whereas on the MacBook Neo, you're going to have to use one of the ports for charging and then the other port for connecting anything you might want to connect to it. And the big question, which one or who should get what one? And like I've mentioned a little bit earlier. If it's your first MacBook, you want to get into macOS, you want to like dip your feet or dip your toes into macOS, give it a try. MacBook Neo is not a bad shout. You get to experience the full macOS ecosystem. And also, if you want to get it for your child as a first MacBook, if you want to start a creative journey, start your own YouTube channel, start video editing, photo editing, the MacBook Neo is capable of that. But if you're an experienced person who does higher levels of all of these things, maybe you want to go for a MacBook Air. Now, if you can spare the extra, I think it's around $200 to $300. I know it's not a little bit of money, so that's why this is at a great price point at $599 and cheaper for students if you can get a student discount. If you can spare the extra money, I think $200 to $300, you could grab yourself an M4 MacBook Air, which will give you an improvement on all of the things I mentioned: faster speeds, faster power, better screen, stuff like that. And funnily enough, on Amazon, the MacBook Air, at least the M4 one, is now cheaper, brand new, than it is on the Apple's refurbished website. And not by a little bit, by a lot. I believe it's $899 on the Amazon site. I'll leave a link in the description box below. And on Apple's refurbished site, it's over $1,000. So if you want to grab yourself an M4 MacBook Air, chances are now is the best time to grab one before they start disappearing from stock. And then if the MacBook Air is not enough power for you, I'm sure you already know by now you need to get the Pro or the Pro Max version. But those of you who just want to dip your toes, like I mentioned, into the macOS ecosystem, giving it a try, or you're just not using very high intensive applications, the MacBook Neo is a great choice, especially for that price tag. Now, I am very optimistic about the MacBook Neo. I think it's going to be a very popular device and it's going to get a lot of people into macOS for the first time, which is very important because once you start using macOS, you realize how seamless and how easy everything is. Chances are you're not going to go back to Windows. And there we go. I've been editing the whole video with the MacBook Neo and I've got some things I should mention. First of all, would I recommend it to anybody that's editing 4K videos at more than just a basic level? No, because although it scrubs through, and when I show you on the screen now, it scrubs through the clip perfectly fine, plays perfectly fine. If I add more than one 4K file, it plays perfectly fine, does the same thing. The problems arise when I start to add plugins, even just basic text on the screen. It takes more than 20 seconds just to render it and show it. And as you can imagine, doing that multiple times just takes away from the whole experience of the actual video editing, makes it not so pleasant. So somebody who does video editing at more than a basic level more frequently, I really wouldn't recommend this machine if you plan to do that on it. Somebody who is their first machine, they don't do a lot of that stuff, but they just want to get into the macOS ecosystem, sure. I'll just say, don't believe everything you see online. I know a lot of people out there may be trying to sell this as some sort of God-given miracle that's come out that can do everything on low power. It's not. It is capable of a lot of stuff, but nowhere near as much as these higher processor chips, which are, in return, more expensive. And the MacBook Neo is definitely going in the right direction. I can only imagine the second generation, which is funny to say because this one literally just came out. But the second generation with the newer chip, and hopefully they implement more unified memory, so the machine's capable of more stuff, is going to be an exciting one. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. All I'm here to do is give you an insight on what might be a better choice for your needs. At the end of the day, it's your money. Spend it what you will, buy what you want, have fun with it, and enjoy life. But as always, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. If you have liked the video, hit that like button. And share this video with your friends and family who might be interested in getting a MacBook Neo or maybe a MacBook Air. And I appreciate you watching, appreciate your support. I'll catch you on the next one.